Man, a long time had passed since I did my first countdown ever called Top 15 Shadow of the Colossus Battles. Sadly, I think it was awful. So now that I'm better at making countdowns, I think it's time to redeem myself and finally remake that list. I'm going to tell you how much I like the bosses from Shadow of the Colossus in order. If you know this game, you know its bosses are completely epic and fun. If you haven't finished this game, don't watch this list. Not only because I'll include some spoilers, because it's better to discover how to defeat each Colossus by yourself. So sit down and enjoy. If you never watched my old version, good luck, because now you had the chance to see it. If you did, sorry, but the list is almost not going to change. But still, I think you're going to enjoy it. I hate Colossus. He's so fucking annoying. First of all, you have to scare him with a stick set on fire. What the fuck? He's a giant monster and he's scared of a little flame? Once you did this, he will fall off and his armor will break, giving you the chance to attack him on the back. So why I consider Colossus to be the worst Colossus? Well, if you fall off the temple in order to attack him, he will ram into you a lot of times, and every time he attacks, it takes Wonder like 5 minutes to wake up. Colossus is one of my least favorite bosses ever, and I am sure most Shadow of the Colossus fans will agree with me here. Of course, you knew Pilate was going to be low on this list, since Josh Scorcher included him in his top 10 annoying boss battles. And although I think Colossus is more annoying, I have to agree this boss sucks. First of all, you will fight Pilate in a lake, and he will constantly spam a thunder attack that can deal a lot of damage. Once you ride on top of him, you have to hit those rocks on his head in order to climb over a building, so he can show his weak spot. The process of finding this weak spot was hard and frustrating, and the boss itself was so unforgiving that he just deserved the number 15 spot. While I hated the battle against Pilate and Colossus, the battle against the 6th Colossus, Barbra, was actually very good. First of all, let me say this guy's name is hilarious, since Barbra means beard in the Spanish language, and this is actually a very good name, since you have to climb over his beard in order to defeat Barbra, and this made up for a fair challenge and an enjoyable boss. Of course, this boss is low on the list because there's nothing too special about him, but you have to give him credit since it has the best design of all humanoid colossi in the game, especially with that badass beard. Who wouldn't like to have one like that? At first, I hated the battle against Spydra, since it was very hard to me to figure out how to defeat him, until Dormin told me. I had to hide in a cave, wait until he shows his face to investigate, and climb over him through his back. Whoa, what a stupid monster. However, once I defeated him for the first time, I realized he was a very enjoyable boss, and the strategy to defeat him is completely original, since the background is your main ally. And let's not forget, Spydra wins a lot of points because of his badass zombie horse design. And I'm not saying that because I am a brony. Of course, the battle against Baloo can easily win the prize for the best first boss battle ever. It was this Colossus that made me fall in love with this game. The battle itself was very simple. You have to attack his legs so you can climb over his back and stab him in the head until he is dead. Yeah, nothing too complex or challenging, but this was the first Colossi we fight, and it surprised me in a way I can't really explain. If you play this game, I'm sure you can understand me. However, this was only a little preview of what was coming. Baloo was an excellent first boss, and the second Colossus, Quadratus, was a great way to continue with this game. First of all, his design is absolutely badass. I always had a soft spot for bull-like monsters, but what made this boss even better was the fact that you will need almost every skill in the game to defeat him. Horse riding, using the bow and arrows, 2 weak spots on the same boss. It was great to be able to practice the main elements of the game with just one Colossus, and I honestly think Quadratus should have been the first boss, since this made you feel what was coming in the rest of the game. A friend of mine thinks Argus was the best boss of the game, and while I loved it, I disagree with him. First of all, Argus' design is completely badass. He looks like a caveman or a monkey with a sword, and when he appears for the first time, I almost shit myself. But what makes him a great boss is the fight itself, which, like Spydra, depends on the environment to defeat him. You will have to avoid Argus' attacks in order to make him break the building around him. Once he breaks it, you will be able to climb until he reaches his head and stab him to death. But this doesn't end here. He has another weak spot in the hand that holds his sword. You will have to attack him until he drops his weapon, and then attack his hand. This battle was challenging, funny and very original. I mean, a weak point in his hand? Genius! For being the third Colossus of the game, Gaius was gigantic, and his battle obviously did not disappoint. First, you will have to break the ring on his arm by tricking him into hitting this rock in the middle of the battlefield. Then, you climb over his sword when he smashes it into the ground and stab him in the head and the stomach. The battle against Gaius is the definition of epic, a duel between two sword builders in the top of a platform in the middle of a lake. A great boss and a very interesting battle, put him at number 9 spot. Shinobi is very similar to Colossus. Their designs are almost the same, both can attack you and make Wonder faint for an entire minute, and heck, even their names are similar. So why is Shinobi a lot higher in the list? Well, the battle against him is a lot funnier and more elaborated. Again, for the third time, just like Argus and Spydra, you must use the environment to defeat this Colossus. He will run into you, angry, and you will have to trick him into breaking the structure until a big statue falls in his back, breaking his armor and giving you the chance to attack. The reason Shinobi is this high on the list is because his battle was a lot more original and less annoying than his brother Colossus.